Vetiver. When I first smelled Vetiver, I was like, okay, there is no way in the world I would like this note. Then a couple of days later, I said, there is no way in the world I wouldn't like this note.
I love it! Aha!
Consistency I don't have. And you might as well get used to it by now. It is one of the most popular fixative in the fragrance industry. It is contained in 90% of all Western perfumes. How do I know this? Wikipedia. It traditionally does lean a little masculine, as it is commonly used in men's perfume. But you know me, I love unisex fragrances. And there is nothing more sexy than a woman wearing a Vetiver perfume. Okay, that's a lie. A woman wearing a bikini might be a bit more sexy than a woman wearing a Vetiver fragrance. But what if? Hear me out. A woman wearing a bikini wears a Vetiver fragrance. Oh my god. Please put a ring on this finger. Oh wait, that's not the finger. They say about 40% of women's perfume now all have Vetiver in them, because it truly is a reliable backbone for a fragrance. It's like amazing 감자탕, a great backbone soup. And today I'll be sharing 4 of my favorite Vetiver perfumes. Trust me, if I had the money, I would have bought full bottle of every single fragrance on this list. As I said, Vetiver usually acts as the backbone of a fragrance. It's used to support other notes. So in some of these fragrances, Vetiver will be the main protagonist. In others, it will be Batman's Robin. The first fragrance I'll be sharing with you guys today is Frederick Malle French Lover. Oh my god. Oh my god! This does smell like the protagonist in every Godard film, who coincidentally made French New Wave films. Young, cool, in a suit, parties every night, smokes on the bed. But if you're old enough, you should know, those kind of people are only attractive for a week. A little dating advice from someone who never leaves his room, you know. I honestly don't know where the French comes from, but this definitely smells like an art student you had a crush on back in college. It smells like someone who enjoys their vice, you know, smoking, drinking. It has the vibe of a New York hipster, in a way that they romanticize living an austere and hard life, yet somehow can afford a life of luxury because they aren't as poor as they proclaim to be. The very same people who will be on the bed wearing a clean white shirt and just underwear. I get that they're trying to be sexy, but me being extremely unromantic would ask them, is that comfortable? Do you want my Batman pajamas? They're really comfortable. I do think this is very classy, sexy, woody, dry, green, aromatic, and herbal. You can smell grass and hay. It does lean a little masculine. Initially, you smell a lot of angelica, cedar, and incense, but it quickly dries down to a beautiful vetiver and oak moss and musk. The vetiver in this is very dry, clean, and soapy. It's similar to that of Chanel Sycamore, Guerlain Vetiver, and Tom Ford Grey Vetiver, and Lalique Encre Noir. It's surprisingly airy as well, so I can imagine myself wearing this all year around. It does have a very similar vibe to Diaz & Durga Cowboy Grass. I can't believe no one actually mentioned this yet, which is a fragrance and a fragrance brand that I haven't put on this list because I've been talking so much about Diaz & Durga recently. And because of that, I don't think it should be called French Lover. I think it should be called American Farmer. Next one up is État Libre d'Orange Fat Electrician. Have you ever wanted to date someone that looks like this, but with a real job? Then you would love Fat Electrician. What if I told you this was Vetiver Gourmand? Then you would love Fat Electrician. What if I told you that this also costs 1/3 of French Lover, aka American Farmer? Then you would love Fat Electrician. If French Lover is the person you had crush on back when you were in your early 20s because you were immature, Fat Electrician is the guy you end up with because he's realistic. Oh boy. Oh boy. Now the Vetiver in this is dirty. Dirty. If French Lover is dry, clean, bright, clean, did I say clean? This Electrician is fat and dirty. Yes. It's like extra fudge brownie. Super dirty. This is earthy, grassy, herbal, raw, bitter vetiver, but as I said, this is a gourmand. That bitterness is balanced really well with whipped cream and vanilla. This balance of bitterness and sweetness is harmonious with the smokiness and the rubberiness in the background. This overall creates this sweet and cozy hazelnut kind of vibe, probably with the help of marron glacé note, which is a sweet and savory note of glazed chestnuts. It's kind of like eating ginseng with a touch of sugar. It's delicious, it's comforting. This is very unique, which is not surprising at all coming from a Untitled Orange. Next one is Mancera, Vetiver Sanshuel. I feel like I say this way too often, but Mancera is one of my favorite houses, just like every other house I've ever mentioned on this channel. And Vetiver Sanshuel, believe it or not, is my current favorite from Mancera, which is quite surprising because there's so many great fragrances that they offer. People often compare this one to Terre d'Hermès Eau Très Fraîche and Guerlain Homme, so you can imagine what kind of vibe this gives off. But don't get me wrong, this is definitely different from TDH and Guerlain Homme, and I dare say better than both of those fragrances. Oh my god, I'm gonna get so much hate comments. This is a fresh citrus woody fragrance. Both the citrus and vetiver are crisp, clear, clean, bright, and almost professional. It's very inoffensive and subtle. And because of that, this is a fragrance I'm very comfortable wearing it in any occasion in any season whatsoever. Last but not least, Nishane Sultan Vetiver. So when I actually first smelled this, it awfully smelled very similar to this Korean cough drop that I used to eat growing up. I found out that this candy is based on a fruit called bogwa in Korean, which is one of many fruits that actually doesn't exist in the West. So the closest translation I was able to find for this fruit that you might recognize is a fruit called quince, but technically speaking, they're different fruits. If you don't know the fruit that I'm referring to, that is completely fine, because even Koreans don't eat them raw. They're actually used to make a syrup, which is used as a tea, dressing, and for medicinal purposes. But the version this reminded me of was the cough drop version, which is very camphorous, sweet, bitter, syrupy. But when this settles down, this is vetiver through and through. So much vetiver. Do you have a crush on vetiver? Can you not go to bed at night because you're busy thinking about vetiver-chan? This is the fragrance for you. This is super photorealistic, natural smelling, aromatic vetiver. Yet somehow they made it smell very clean and bright. So Luca Turin, who's a famous figure in the fragrance industry, apparently said that this actually reminds him of the original vintage Guerlain vetiver because it has this earthy licorice accord to it, which even I can definitely smell. I think when vetiver becomes the main protagonist, people often get divided, and if Sultan Vetiver can't get you to the dark side, I don't know what other vetiver fragrance can. If you're still iffy about vetiver, definitely try this one out. And that was some of my favorite vetiver fragrances. Have you smelled any of these? Do you have any of these? Or what's your favorite vetiver fragrance? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye!